Alright, what is up, people? You clicked, you're here, so let's not waste any time. This is Dusty Seconds Tips and Tricks. That's the channel, that's what we do. We're all about those little hacks, those tiny adjustments that make the big, chaotic world out there just a little bit easier to navigate, a little smoother, you know? It's about taking control, not letting the system just push you around. We're talking about those moments where you think, there's gotta be a better way, and guess what? Usually there is. You just need someone to point it out, to shine a light on it. That's my job. Or well, Dusty's job, and I'm just here helping her get the word out. So today, we're diving deep into something that stresses a lot of folks out: travel. Specifically, airport travel in the glorious, futuristic year of 2025. Things change, right? New rules, new tech, new ways the system tries to, well, get you. But we're smarter. We adapt, we find the loopholes. We're revealing 10 count 'em, 10 little-known travel strategies, the kind of stuff the seasoned pros, the road warriors, the people who practically live in airport lounges already know. These are the secrets that can save you time, save you money, and honestly, just save your sanity when you're trying to get from point A to point B. This isn't just about a list, okay? It's about a mindset. It's about being proactive, not reactive. It's about understanding the game so you can play it better. We're going to break down each tip, give you the why, the how, the what to watch out for. No fluff, no filler, just straight up actionable advice that you can use on your very next trip. Think of this as your pre-flight checklist for being a total travel boss. So buckle up, get your notebooks out, or just, pay attention. Because these are the insights that separate the rookies from the veterans. And look, I get it, travel can be a beast. The lines, the delays, the unexpected costs. It's designed to be a bit overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be that way. With a few smart moves, a little bit of inside knowledge, you can glide through the chaos like you own the place. That's the goal here. Empower you. Make you feel like you've got the cheat codes. So, enough talk. We've got 10 killer strategies to get through. Let's get right into it. Okay, first things first, getting to and from the airport. You land, you're tired, you just want to get to your hotel or back home, so you pull out your phone, tap that rideshare app, and bam, surge pricing. Or maybe it's not even surging, but there's this sneaky little airport fee tacked on. Ever wonder why that is? It's not just random. Airports charge these companies, these Ubers and Lyfts, a premium for the convenience of picking you up right there at the curb. It's prime real estate, digitally speaking, and guess who foots that bill? You do. Every single time. It's a system, right? They know you're a captive audience, you're there, you need a ride, and they've made it super easy to just click and go. But easy often comes with a hidden cost, or sometimes a not-so-hidden one. These fees can add a significant chunk to your fare, especially if you're traveling to or from a major international hub. We're talking 5, 10, sometimes even more bucks just for the privilege of that specific pickup spot. It adds up, especially if you travel frequently. Think about it, that's money you could be spending on, I don't know, a decent coffee instead of that lukewarm airport stuff. So the default is to just accept it, to sigh, pay the extra, and move on. But we're not about defaults here. We're about finding the smarter way, the slightly more effortful way that pays off. The truth is, that designated pickup zone with its long lines of cars and even longer lines of tired travelers isn't always the fastest or most pleasant experience anyway. You're jostling for space, trying to spot your driver in a sea of identical Priuses. It can be a bit of a chaotic mess, frankly, and you're paying extra for that chaos. The secret, the hack, the thing the smart travelers are already doing is to sidestep that designated zone altogether. To walk a little, to think outside the terminal. It sounds simple, and it is, but it requires a small shift in your thinking. Instead of being herded with everyone else, you take a quick detour. This isn't about hiking miles with your luggage, don't worry. It's about identifying a slightly less convenient but significantly cheaper pickup point. A point that's just outside that expensive airport bubble. This is where the real savings begin, and often, a quicker escape too. Alright, let's talk about shiny objects. You've made it through security, you're wandering the terminal, and then you see it. Duty-free. Big, bright stores filled with everything from giant Toblerone bars to fancy perfumes and high-end liquor. The signs scream tax-free savings, and there's this immediate, almost Pavlovian response, right? Ooh, a deal, I should buy something. It feels like you're getting away with something, like you're beating the system by avoiding those pesky sales taxes you'd pay back home. It's a powerful psychological pull, this idea of a bargain. The whole concept of duty-free is built on this premise. It's positioned as this special traveler's perk, a little reward for enduring the hassles of air travel. The stores are strategically placed, often in those long corridors you have to walk down to get to your gate. They're designed to catch your eye, to make you pause, to lure you in with the promise of luxury goods at supposedly lower prices. And let's be honest, sometimes you're bored, you have time to kill before your flight, and browsing these shops feels like a mini adventure, a glimpse into a world of aspirational products. But here's the thing, and this is crucial. Duty-free doesn't automatically mean cheaper, it just means you're not paying certain local import duties and sales taxes. However, the base price of the item itself, that's set by the retailer, by the airport concession, and they know they have a captive audience. They know you're there, you might be in a gift-buying mood or you might just be impulsive. So, while you might be saving on one kind of tax, the retailer might have inflated the base price to begin with, effectively pocketing that difference, or even charging you more. It's a clever bit of marketing, really. They focus on what you're not paying, rather than what you are paying, and for many people, that's enough. The thrill of tax-free overrides the need for actual price comparison. We see those familiar brands, the Glenfiddich, the Chanel No. 5, the Godiva chocolates, and we assume that because it's in a duty-free shop, it must be the best possible price. But assumptions in the world of retail, especially airport retail, can be a very expensive habit. You gotta look past the glitter. Okay, let's talk about something that drives every single traveler absolutely insane. You know the scene, you're at the gate, your phone is clinging to life at like 12%, your laptop's gasping for air, and you've got that one critical email to send or that movie you desperately need to download before a 6-hour flight. So you start the hunt, scanning the walls like a hawk, looking for that beautiful, beautiful electrical outlet. But what do you find? Every single one is occupied. It's a modern-day gold rush. But instead of gold, we're all prospecting for power, and the competition is fierce, man. It's almost a silent, polite war for those precious few spots. You see folks huddled around pillars, cords stretching like tripwires, some people even unplugging the airport's own displays. Don't do that, by the way, seriously. And if you do find a spot, maybe, just maybe, you've got one plug. But you're living in 2025, you've got your phone, your tablet, your headphones, maybe a camera, your smartwatch. Which one gets the juice? It's like choosing your favorite kid, an impossible decision when they're all screaming for attention, or in this case, battery life. This scarcity, this constant battle for power, it adds a layer of stress to travel that nobody, absolutely nobody needs. It's a universal pain point. And here's the thing, this problem, it's only getting worse. We're more connected than ever, more reliant on our devices for everything from boarding passes to entertainment to navigation when we land. A dead phone isn't just an inconvenience anymore, it can be a real problem, a source of genuine travel anxiety. Think about it. Your QR codes, your hotel bookings, your contact with the outside world, it's all on that slab of glass and metal. So when you're running on fumes, that little red battery icon becomes this looming monster, threatening to derail your perfectly planned trip. It's a distraction you just don't need when you're trying to navigate the already chaotic airport environment. But what if I told you there's a way to just bypass this whole ridiculous charade? What if there's a simple, elegant solution that means you never have to play outlet roulette again? I'm not talking about some complicated hack or weird battery-saving mode that makes your phone unusable. I'm talking about one single piece of gear, something so obvious once you have it, you'll wonder how you ever traveled without it. It's not about finding power, it's about bringing your own power station, effectively. This isn't just a gadget, it's your ticket to peace of mind in a world desperate for a charge, a way to reclaim your sanity. Alright, let's be honest with each other. Sleeping on airplanes, it's the absolute worst for most people. You're crammed into a seat that feels like it was designed by someone who hates human beings. There's that constant engine drone, the recycled air that's drier than the Sahara. And then there's always that one person who decides to turn their reading light on full blast right when you're about to drift off. Or the kid kicking the back of your seat. Or the sudden turbulence. It's a symphony of discomfort. A perfect storm designed to keep you wide awake and miserable, especially on those long-haul red-eye flights where sleep is not a luxury, it's a necessity. And the consequences of not sleeping on a flight, especially a long one? Brutal. You land feeling like a zombie, completely out of sync, groggy, irritable. Your first day of vacation or that important business meeting, forget about it. You're operating at half capacity, battling jet lag that feels like it's physically assaulting you. It can take days to recover, days you could have spent enjoying your destination or being productive. It's a massive waste, all because you couldn't catch a few decent hours of shut-eye at 35,000 feet. We've all been there, stumbling through immigration, barely able to string a sentence together. It's not a good look, and it's definitely not a good feeling. People try all sorts of things, right? I've seen it all. The giant, inflatable neck pillows that look like medieval torture devices, the desperate chugging of mini wine bottles hoping it'll knock them out. Spoiler, alcohol actually makes sleep quality worse. Some folks resort to sleeping pills, but then you risk feeling even groggier or dealing with weird side effects. It's this constant search for a magic bullet, a quick fix to the airborne insomnia problem. But often these solutions are either ineffective, uncomfortable, or come with their own set of drawbacks. The desperation is real. You can see it in people's eyes as they try to contort themselves into impossible sleeping positions. But here's the good news. There are ways, natural ways, to significantly improve your chances of getting some quality rest on a plane. And I'm not talking about anything extreme or expensive. It's about being smart, being prepared, and using a few simple tools and techniques to create your own little oasis of calm amidst the chaos of air travel. It's about working with your body, not against it, to gently nudge yourself towards sleep. So if you're tired of arriving at your destination feeling like you've been through a ringer, listen up, because this is for you. These are the strategies that actually work. Okay, so you think you know everything about flying. You book your ticket, you pick your seat, you show up. But here's a little secret. Airlines often have features, perks, and flexibilities that they don't exactly shout about from the rooftops. These aren't always plastered on their homepage or detailed in that super long terms and conditions document that nobody ever reads. Why? Who knows? Maybe they want to save them for savvy travelers. Or maybe it's just too complicated to advertise everything. But the point is, these things exist, and if you don't ask, you often don't get. It's about being proactive, not just a passive passenger. One of the biggest ones, and this is something I always do, is asking politely at the gate about open seats. You've got your assigned seat, maybe it's a middle seat, the worst. But things change last minute. People miss connections, they upgrade, they cancel. So when you get to the gate, just ask the agent very nicely, "Hi, I was just wondering if there happened to be any better seats available, perhaps an aisle or a window or even an exit row." The worst they can say is no, but sometimes you score big. A little more legroom, a better location, maybe even an empty seat next to you, it costs nothing to ask. Now the psychology of this is important. Gate agents are dealing with a lot. Stressed passengers, delays, tight schedules. So rule number 1, be incredibly polite. Smile. Be patient. Don't demand, just inquire. A little kindness can go a very, very long way. They have the power to make your flight a little bit better, or not. So, approach them with respect, understand they might be swamped, and if they can't help, just say thanks anyway. But often, if they help, and you've been cool about it, they will. It's amazing what a little human decency can unlock in these situations. This isn't about trying to scam the system or get something for free that you didn't pay for, not at all. It's about understanding that the airline industry is dynamic. Seats open up, situations change, and by simply politely asking, you're putting yourself in a position to benefit from that dynamism. Smart travelers are informed travelers, and they know that sometimes the best perks aren't advertised, they're discovered. So, next time you're at the gate, don't just sit there scrolling on your phone. Take a moment, be brave, and ask the question. You might be pleasantly surprised by the outcome. Alright, so you ever walk into an airport and instantly feel like you're in a race? Like even if your flight isn't for another 3 hours, there's this invisible current just pulling you forward faster, faster. It's not just in your head, I promise. This feeling, this almost frantic energy, it's by design. Airports are these massive, complex machines, and we, the travelers, we're the cogs. The architects, the designers, they've spent decades figuring out how to make us move, how to guide us, sometimes without us even realizing what's happening. It's a subtle art, a kind of environmental psychology at play on a massive scale. Think about it, the entire experience is curated. The thing is, this isn't accidental. They use everything in their arsenal. The lighting, for instance, it's often bright, almost like a retail store designed to keep you alert and moving. Not too cozy, you know? Then there are the walking paths. Ever notice how they're usually wide, clear, and almost funnel you towards specific areas like security, then the gates, and conveniently, past all those shops? It's like a carefully choreographed dance, and we're all just following the steps laid out for us. The flooring might change textures, the signage is big and bold, all these little cues nudging you along, keeping that forward momentum going. It's fascinating when you start to actually see it. And why all this hurry? Well, part of it is efficiency, sure. Getting thousands of people through these metal birds on time is a logistical nightmare. But there's another, equally important reason: commerce. When you're moving quickly, you're browsing quickly. You're making faster decisions. That quick glance at a duty-free display, that grab-and-go sandwich, it all adds up. The less time you spend idly sitting, the more time you might spend, well, spending. It's the same principle you see in busy city streets or shopping malls. Keep people flowing, keep them engaged, keep them consuming. It's a business after all, a massive, sprawling, flying business. But here's the kicker, the good part. Once you understand this, once you see the matrix, you can kind of unplug from it. Knowing that the environment is to make you rush means you can consciously choose to. You can take a breath, slow your pace, and move through the airport on your own terms, not theirs. It's about recognizing these subtle manipulations, these nudges, and then deciding, nah, I'm good, I've got time. This awareness, it's like a little superpower. It lets you reclaim your own experience instead of just being swept along by the airport's current. Okay, let's talk about traveling in style. You see those people breezing into the airport lounge looking all relaxed, maybe sipping a free coffee or something stronger, and you think, man, that must cost a fortune. But here's the secret, or one of them anyway: it doesn't always have to. The perception that premium travel perks are exclusively for the mega-rich or the road warriors who fly 300 days a year, it's just not the full picture anymore. There are ways, legit hacks, to get a taste of that good life without completely emptying your wallet. It's about being smart, knowing where to look, and playing the system a little. First up, the unsung hero of the budget-conscious style seeker, the travel credit card. Now, I'm not talking about just any card that gives you a point here and there. I mean those cards that come with actual, tangible travel benefits. Lounge access is a big one. Many mid-tier cards, the ones that don't have insane annual fees, offer a certain number of lounge passes per year, or even unlimited access to specific lounge networks. You gotta do your research, compare the fees against the perks, but for a lot of us the math actually works out. Suddenly that pre-flight chaos turns into a calm oasis with Wi-Fi and snacks. It's a game changer. Then there's the power of apps. Seriously, your smartphone is like a secret weapon for better travel. Airline apps aren't just for checking in or downloading your boarding pass anymore. They're evolving. Many are now offering app-exclusive deals, notifications for last-minute seat changes that might be an improvement, or even opportunities for surprise upgrades or early boarding if you're an active user. The airlines want you on their app, engaging with their platform, so they're starting to dangle these little carrots. It costs you nothing to download it, and keep an eye on those notifications. You never know what might pop up. And this is so simple it's almost overlooked. The human element, just being polite, genuinely nice, and sometimes just, when you're checking in or at the gate, if the flight doesn't look totally full, a polite inquiry about available seat options, or even a long-shot question about an upgrade, can sometimes work wonders. Maybe there's a better seat in economy with more legroom, or perhaps, just perhaps, they need to move someone up. It's not about entitlement, it's about respectful interaction. Gate agents deal with a lot of stress. A little kindness can go a surprisingly long way. Okay, picture this. You're at the airport, your phone is clinging to life at like 7% battery, and every single visible power outlet is taken. It's like a scene from a zombie apocalypse. But instead of brains, everyone's hunting for those sweet, sweet electrical sockets. We've all been there, right? That rising panic as your connection to the world, your boarding pass, your entertainment for the next 6 hours is about to die. It's a modern travel nightmare. But here's the thing, airports are usually crawling with outlets. You just have to know where to look beyond the obvious crowded spots. So, where do these elusive power sources hide? Start thinking like an airport employee, or at least someone who's spent way too much time in terminals. Those gate counter areas, the podiums where the agents work, look around the sides, sometimes even slightly behind them if it's accessible without being intrusive. Often, there are outlets there for their equipment, and if one is free and you ask politely, they might not mind. Also, Check the bases of pillars or walls near these counters. Sometimes utility outlets are placed there and are less noticeable to the average desperate traveler. It's about expanding your search radius, then go low. Literally look under seats, especially in those slightly older gate areas or in seating banks that are a bit off the main drag. Sometimes you'll find outlet strips mounted beneath rows of chairs, intended for cleaners or maintenance, but perfectly usable if you spot one. Business centers, even the small sad-looking ones, are another potential goldmine. People use them for laptops, so there are usually more outlets than people. Even if the center itself looks deserted, check the periphery. You might be surprised what you find tucked away. Just be prepared to do a little bit of searching. The logic here is that power is needed everywhere in an airport, not just in the designated charging stations that are always full. Maintenance crews need to plug in vacuums and equipment. Information kiosks need power. Cleaning staff need access. So these utility outlets are often integrated into the airport's infrastructure in less obvious ways. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to develop an eye for these less glamorous but equally functional power sources. Think like a detective hunting for clues, but instead of clues, you're hunting for live sockets. It's a skill, really. Alright, let's talk airport food. You know the deal. You walk in, you're a little hungry, maybe a little stressed, and bam! You're hit with prices that make your eyes water. Seriously, a soggy sandwich and a bottle of water shouldn't cost more than your taxi to the airport. But they know they've got you, right? It's a captive audience. And those food courts, those little kiosks, they are designed to extract maximum cash from your wallet. It's a universal truth of travel airport food is a ripoff. But we're smarter than that. We're going to sidestep this whole charade. And it's not just the price, is it? Let's be honest, the quality often just plain sucks. You're looking for something decent, something that won't make you feel gross at 30,000 feet. But your options are usually limited to greasy fast food, stale pastries, or salads that look like they've seen better days, possibly last Tuesday. Trying to find something healthy, something actually... Good luck with that. It's like a culinary wasteland sometimes. You deserve better fuel for your journey, especially when you're about to be cooped up in a metal tube for hours. Then there's the time factor. You're already navigating security, rushing to your gate, and now you're supposed to stand in another long line, waiting for that overpriced, underwhelming meal? No thanks. That's valuable time you could be using to chill, to catch up on emails, to mentally prepare for your flight, or, I don't know, just breathe. Wasting 20-30 minutes for something you don't even really want? That's not efficient, that's not smart travel. We're all about optimizing, about making every part of the journey work for us, not against us. Look, this isn't about being a cheapskate, not at all. This is about being prepared, it's about taking control. It's about saying, nope, I'm not falling for that. Packing your own snacks is a small act of rebellion, a way to reclaim a little bit of your autonomy in an environment that's designed to dictate your choices. It's one less thing to worry about, one less unnecessary expense, one more way to make your travel experience smoother and frankly, more enjoyable. It's a simple hack, but the payoff is huge. Alright, let's talk about something crucial for a stress-free travel day, actually getting where you're going on time. Flight delays, man, they are the absolute worst. They throw off your plans, your connections, your mood. But what if I told you there's a way to significantly stack the odds in your favor? It's not about luck, it's about strategy. And the biggest part of that strategy is picking the time to fly. Because not all flight times are created equal, not by a long shot. Some are just asking for trouble. Here's the deal. Flight delays often have a domino effect. Think about it. An aircraft that's late arriving from its previous flight, that means flight is going to be late. Air traffic control dealing with congestion from earlier in the day, that means going to be sitting on the tarmac. The later in the day your flight is scheduled, the more chances there are for these cascading problems to build up and hit you. It's like a snowball rolling downhill, getting bigger and more disruptive with every passing hour. So, how do you avoid getting caught in that avalanche? You fly early, like super early. The first flights of the morning are your golden ticket. Why? Several reasons. First, the aircraft is often already at the airport, having arrived the night before. No waiting for it to show up from somewhere else. Second, the flight crews are fresh, starting their day, not at the end of a long shift. And third, there's generally less air traffic congestion early in the morning, both in the sky and on the ground. Fewer planes moving around means fewer chances for things to go wrong. It's just a smoother operation all around. And it's not just any early morning, there's a sweet spot in the week too. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Think about it, Mondays are hectic with everyone returning from the weekend or starting their work week. Fridays and weekends are peak for leisure travelers, but those midweek days, they tend to be a little calmer, a little less crowded. Airlines know this, frequent flyers swear by it. This isn't some old wives' tale, it's backed by data. So if you have the flexibility, aim for that early morning midweek flight. You're playing the probabilities and they're heavily skewed in your favor. So there you have it, Misan. 10 solid gold nuggets of travel wisdom, straight from the trenches, designed to make your 2025 journeys smoother, smarter, and just plain better. We've covered a ton of ground, from dodging those sneaky rideshare fees by walking a few extra steps, to understanding if duty-free is truly a deal, and packing that essential universal power strip. We talked about sleeping better on planes naturally, uncovering hidden airline perks, and why airports feel like a racetrack. It's not about gaming the system, it's about understanding it, working with it, and making it work for you. Because travel should be an adventure, a story you're excited to tell, not an ordeal you just want to forget, right? Now the big question, the one I'm dying to know the answer to, which of these 10 strategies really hit home for you? Which one are you itching to try out on your very next trip? Maybe it's the snack packing revolution, finally saying goodbye to overpriced airport munchies. Or perhaps you're already looking at your calendar, figuring out how to snag one of those early morning midweek flights for a stress-free departure. Drop a comment below. Seriously, I want to hear what you're thinking, what your go-to moves are. Your insights, your experiences, they fuel this community. They help us all get better at this travel game we absolutely love. And hey, if you found any of this useful, if these tips sparked an idea, or if you think this is going to save you some hassle or even a few bucks down the line, and I really hope it does, do me a solid, smash that like button, give it a good click. It tells the YouTube gurus that we're doing something right over here, that this content is hitting the mark. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe because there's a lot more where this came from. More secrets, more hacks, more ways to navigate this amazing, crazy world. And please, share this video with your travel crew, your family, anyone who gets on a plane. Let's spread the knowledge, make everyone a smarter traveler. And you've been watching Dusty Seconds Tips and Tricks. We're out here, every single day, in the real world, figuring stuff out, trying new things, making mistakes so you don't have to, and then sharing what actually works. It's a constant hustle, a perpetual state of learning and improving because that's what it's all about. Getting a little bit better, a little bit smarter each and every day. Still grinding, still growing, and totally committed to helping you do the same on your adventures. Thanks so much for watching, for being part of this, and I'll see you in the next one. Work hard, travel smart, and go make some stories.